Chapter 13 Organized Action. 2 days later. Wicked Valley. Boom. And some of the small groups could not help but have some fights. In the valley, the fighting was non-stop. Snap. At the mouth of the valley, there was a steep crack of a whip. You bunch of stinking insects, actually still fighting by yourselves, huh? A furious rebuke resounded from the mouth of the valley. The martial arts fight in the Wicked Man Valley abruptly stopped. Together, they turned their heads to look. However, they saw that several black-robed men escorting Gao Xianzi slowly walked in, each holding an umbrella. Gao Xianzi's clothes were broken in pieces, incomparably wretched, but he had survived after all. Another round had ended. The faces of the crowd of evildoers were in a state of dismay. Wouldn't it be that a new round was about to begin again? Assemble. The leading black-robed man at a loud shout. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly as he slowly walked over. All the villains, all lined up, and Gao Xianzi's shackles were unshackled. The last round's a zero. Come out, the black-robed man with the whip said in a cold voice. Gu Hai raised his eyebrows and slowly stepped out with Scar. Snap! A whip steeply threw on Scar. You go back. It's none of your business. Scar slowly retreated back. The black-robed man in the lead looked at Gu Hai, then at Gao Xianzi. These 2 times, you guys, with your palms spewing out sword chi. What is the secret technique? Gu Hai could hear that this leader black-robed man was the same whip-wielding black-robed man who had continuously whipped himself last time. Apparently, the move that Gu Hai eventually fought back to win was also used by Gao Xianzi with excellent results. Even the black-robed man was salivating. This was a secret technique to save one's life. Gao Xianzi's face was in a state of disbelief, but Gu Hai solemnly said, "That is an untold secret of my clan." Your clan? By this point, you still care about your clan. Tell me the secret technique, and I cannot pick you for half a year. The whip-wielding black-robed man laughed coldly. Gu Hai looked at the crowd around him, frowned slightly and said, "That secret technique, it's not difficult. It's extremely easy to learn. And it's also very easy to crack. Talking about cracking won't have an effect. Are you sure you want me to say it now, in front of so many people?" "Oh, not difficult to learn. Easy to crack." The whip-wielding black-robed man frowned. "That's why it's a secret not to be passed on. If it gets out, it's useless." Gu Hai nodded. The whip-wielding black-robed man stared at Gu Hai and was silent for a while. Ha 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 ha. A secret not to be passed on. Secret technique. Looks like it's just a joke. Humph, let's go. Yes, a group of black-robed men answered. At once, leaving Gao Xianzi behind, the group of black-robed men quickly retreated. "My lord, that whip-wielding black-robed man, he will definitely come back," Gao Xianzi worriedly said. "Of course, otherwise I wouldn't have set him up," Gu Hai said in a cold voice. "Oh, but what about when he comes back again?" Gao Xianzi said unexpectedly. While the rain was pouring down, Gu Hai was slowly heading towards the cave. "In these few days of my absence, what exactly happened?" Gao Xianzi looked towards Chen Chongchen in disbelief. "Minister Chon, you missed a great battle." Chen Chongchen laughed. Gao Xianzi showed a bewildered look on his face. "Greetings to Minister Chon." At once, there were large swathes of villains paying homage to Gao Xianzi. Gao Xianzi's complexion moved, as if he had guessed something, and looked incredulously at Gu Hai. When he reached the entrance of the cave, Gu Hai looked up at the sky. Half a month ago, the rain poured down, and the Colosseum was suspended. Now, it's like this again. What a heavenly opportunity. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly and said, "My lord, what do we do now?" Scar asked. "Whether we can unmask or not depends on tonight," Gu Hai said in a deep voice. "Yes." The black-robed man with the whip led a group of subordinates out. After giving an explanation, he dismissed his subordinates. Alone, he was back outside the Wicked Man Valley. There were guards outside the Wicked Man Valley, and the whip-wielding black-robed man didn't say much. but instead found shelter from the rain nearby and waited. That secret technique, easy to learn. As long as it is leaked, it can be cracked. It doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't leak, who else can crack it? Once I force out how to perform it, I'll kill those too. Won't the secret technique be mine alone? The whip-wielding black-robed man laughed coldly. The night was already deep, and the torrential rain remained. Under the rainstorm, the guards of the Evil People Valley also have no intention of inspecting the Evil People Valley, but once again in the side of the palace to enjoy themselves. The black-robed man with a whip was quietly walking towards the valley. Not only is there a layer of blue light film at the top of the valley, there is also a layer at the mouth of the valley. So even if they know that this is the entrance, the evil people don't dare to step out to prevent their heads from exploding. The black-robed man with the whip stepped into the valley, and his eyes searched in all directions. A crowd of villains were scattered in all directions, hiding from the rain in 2s and 3s. Over here. The whip-wielding black-robed man instantly saw where Guhai and Gao Xianzi were. Under a large tree, the duo was in the middle of hiding from the rain under the tree. Snap! The whip-wielding black-robed man boldly tapped his whip and walked over triumphantly. Kid, I'm here again. The whip-wielding black-robed man sneered as he looked towards Guhai. Guhai was sitting on his knees, but at this moment, he slowly opened his eyes and looked up at the whip-wielding black-robed man. Why are you back again? Guhai said in a deep voice. Tell me that secret technique, otherwise, I'll make you to beg for your lives. The whip-wielding black-robed man sneered as he walked slowly. Stepping on the thick leaves, he approached step by step. Guhai's eyes narrowed slightly. What? Kid, didn't you hear me? Not yet, the whip-wielding black-robed man said in a cold voice. But before he could finish his words, the leaves under his feet steeply burst open. Buzz, buzz. But from the whip-wielding black-robed man's feet steeply appeared two ropes. The ropes are presented in the shape of a circle, as if they were violently pulled by whoever. It instantly ensnared the black-robed man's feet. What? The black-robed man exclaimed. Boom! A super huge force came from the two ropes, and with a fierce pull, the whip-wielding black-robed man's legs did a big split. Seek death! In the black-robed man's chilling voice, a huge surge of true chi burst out at once. The two ropes were instantly pulled back a little. Boom! However, the other end of the rope had too much strength, and in a twinkling it was pulled back again. How is that possible? The black-robed man exclaimed. He himself was about to be at the Jindan realm, and the power of utilizing his true chi was so great. How could he be pulled by Immortal? Immortal? No. At each end of the rope, there were hundreds of evil men in the midst of violently pulling, as if in a tug of war. They were fighting a black-robed man for strength. Peak in 8 realm, powerful, but you're only one person, and with more than 1,000 villains here, pulling on your legs with all their might. You can block it. You guys, you're revolting. The black-robed man also noticed the abnormality and instantly shrieked. Boom! A person jumped down steeply from the tree, while a rope was put around the black-robed man's neck. Hulo! Shoo! Shoo! 2 more ropes flew in, instantly chaining its hands. Wow! At once, the black-robed man was pulled up in a big zigzag. With true chi filling his body around him, his hat fell off in shock, and his face twisted beyond recognition. Filled with purple, peak in 8, yet with massive power, true chi possessed. It was simply not something that this group of villains could fight against. But, with their hands and feet restrained, the 3,000 villains were simply no match for them at full strength. Alright, enough power. Any more power, and you'll be split into 5 halves, Guhai faintly said. Yes, the surrounding villains answered at once. All the villains answered at the same time. The black-robed man's face instantly changed wildly. A rebellion. They have rebelled. All the evil people have rebelled. The black-robed man wanted to shout out. However, his neck was strangled to the point of breaking. Where could he still make a sound? Gu Hai slowly got up, slowly walked to the black-robed man and stomped on his face. In the Colosseum, remember what I said? Gu Hai sneered. At that time, the black-robed man had used his whip to whip Gu Hai, taunting Gu Hai to come and kill him. When Gu Hai had said I will. Thinking about this, the black-robed man's face changed drastically. How could the black-robed man have thought that Gu Hai could organize all the villains? It was easy to kill himself now. Huh. Just like this, the stalemate lasted for an hour. My lord, he fainted. Gao Xianzi whispered. Gu Hai's eyes narrowed slightly. Bring him to the cave and torture him. Prevent him from shouting. Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes. The crowd of villains answered. He has a weapon on him. Disable him first. Scar was the first to speak. A group of villains who were not good, facing the man in black. They hated him even more. If it wasn't for the sake of forcing out how to remove the mask, they would have already killed the man in black by 1,000 cuts. Where else would want to be inhumane? When the black-clothed man with the whip woke up, his entire body was about to collapse. It was very easy to torture everything. My lord, the inquiry is clear, but it's bad news, Gao Xianzi said with an ugly face. Oh, Gu Hai was puzzled. This mask of ours, I heard him say that it is some kind of magic treasure. The Dafeng Ang disciples, they will only wear it. They won't be able to unravel it, Dafeng Ang. Only the gang leader Li Wei knows how to unravel it. Gao Xianzi said with an ugly face. Gu Hai's face sank. The crowd of villains looked at Gu Hai together. Hearing this news, everyone's heart went cold. Yes, the crowd of villains answered. At this moment, Gu Hai was the backbone of the crowd of villains and had to find a way out. The crowd of villains continued to press the man in black. Only Gao Xianzi stayed behind. My lord, there is something that my subordinate doesn't know if I should say or not. Oh, Gu Hai looked at Gao Xianzi suspiciously. It has nothing to do with our peril. When I went to the Colosseum on the first day, I saw Patriarch Song Jia. Gao Xianzi took a deep breath and said, Patriarch Song Jia is at the Colosseum every day. There should also be the Dafeng Gang Master. Right, Gu Hai nodded. Yes, the great Feng Clan Master comes occasionally. However, on the last day of my return, another group of black-robed people appeared. Gao Xianzi solemnly said. A group of black-robed men. Yes, the leader one. Although wrapped in black robes, I could tell that it should be an old crone with a crutch. Patriarch Song Jia got up to welcome him, extremely respectful. And the Dafeng Gang Master also came in a hurry, extremely respectful. Gao Xianzi solemnly said. Gu Hai nodded and thought deeply.